We have a very full agenda. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have a quorum, and I'd like to welcome everyone here, families. We have two new board members. We're very excited. We're going to be working with them. We have Judge Segura, whom we welcome as well. And what I'd like to do is get a motion to adopt the agenda so we can move on with a very important part of this evening.
I'd like to move the agenda, but move up the bond issue to the next item of business after the oath of office.
That's good. We can do that. Is that your motion?
Yeah, I'll deal with the rest later.
All right. We need a second.
Can we second?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And I would like to invite Judge Segura and both Kathy Keith and Dr. Marta Romero for the oath of office.
Yeah, in the front.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of member Santa Fe Community College Board, Santa Fe, New Mexico, which I am about to enter, according to the law and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Welcome again. We're really pleased. Thank you, Judge Segura. We appreciate it. And as Dr. Guzman said, you made it very special for all of us. Thank you for being here.
And Madam Chair, I would like to welcome our new members and thank you all for wanting to run and be part of Santa Fe Community College Board.
All right, now we are going to move with the President's report.
Well, Chair,
that's right.
We wanted to do the bond
That's
first.
right.
So
Mary D., you're going to introduce our guest.
I have your coat too. Madam Chair, members of the board, Madam President, and members of the community, students, faculty, and staff. We had an exciting, come on up. Up at the table with me is Paul Cassidy with RBC Capital Markets. He's our financial advisor, and Rachel with Sutton, Thayer, and Brown. They were very instrumental in helping us with our bond sale, which occurred today. And so we had a very, very, very good sale. Everything went smoothly, and we have great news. And I'm going to turn the microphone to Paul Cassidy.
Thank you, Mary D. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guzman. This morning at 9 o'clock we received sealed interest rate bids for the college's $15 million of general obligation bonds, the final installment of bonds that voters approved in 2010. Of 13 bids, with the best bid that was submitted was a 1.41%. It's a fixed rate financing for the bonds, and I think that's got to be about the lowest I've seen. We're catching a very good market, but that combined with the college's very high AA1 Moody's bond rating was the reason that we received such a very low interest rate. Subject to board approval tonight, if you do approve it, bond proceeds will be in a bank on May 16th. We represent the board and the district as your independent financial advisor. Having led the process, first of all, on the ratings, I do want to thank the President and her staff for an outstanding job in making the presentation to the board. And there's a lot of the folks that participated in that process sitting behind me that the President might want to recognize at some point in time. But we do, as your financial advisor, recommend that you do accept the best bid that was submitted at the competitive process today. Sutton Thayer, as your independent bond counsel, has drafted a resolution that is before you, and we do recommend that you approve that, and Rachel may want to say something in addition to that.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Members of the board, congratulations on your bond sale. The resolution in front of you is very simple. It sets forth the, there is one on your screen, but the one that's next to you, this one,
this one
is filled in with the results of today's sale. So all this does is list the principal amounts and the maturities as per the sale, and with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? I think then we're ready for a motion.
I move that we, let me see what the motion is. Accept the bids and approve sale of the general obligation. No, that's not it.
Well, I think you can
We've already,
you can simply move to adopt the
to
resolution.
adopt the
that's in front of you,
resolution.
yeah.
Okay, I move that we adopt this resolution for the bid.
It's been second. Any kind of discussion, comments, questions? Then those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank
Outstanding.
you.
Outstanding.
Thank everybody who worked on it.
Yeah, that was great. Right. All right, President's report.
Thank you. What I will be reporting today is I have asked Casey Allen last month. The question of the councils was brought up on where we were on the councils and what information was going on in the councils. And so I asked Casey to set up a website where all of the council agendas and minutes will be. That will be a new tab in Jack, and therefore that will facilitate faculty and staff and board getting to what work the councils are doing. Currently, I am very pleased with what the councils have done. They have, the three of the councils have already generated policies. Those policies are going to the Faculty Senate and the Staff Senate for review, and then after that, it comes to the Executive Council. And you have two of the policies that have gone through that process. And so, Casey, why don't you show what IT has been able to do for us?
Madam Chair and members of the board, this is the new tab that was developed for the JAC portal in order to facilitate communication on the councils. The feedback we got on the councils early on had to do with the necessity for really good communication methods, and a lot of discussion has gone on in this regard on how we would do this, and this is a very recent development. Sorry. It's a recent development that we made this tab. A group of us got together from the chairs of the councils and came up with this method it's an archive of everything that's going on in the council. So it's not the only mode of communication, but it's the main internet or web archive for the information. So you can see that there's a tab called Councils. This tab is available to everyone who gets into our college portal. And so it's students and staff and faculty all get to see this tab. There's what we call a channel for each of the councils. And so you can see the academic affairs and the institutional advancement, the marketing council. Each one of them has their own channel. They're all set up the same. They have agendas of upcoming meetings. They have minutes from past meetings. The channels are set up to have little blurbs that change out on each one. So there's a focus point on each of the channels. It's either something that's just occurred or something that's coming up in an initiative, some such thing. And there's also, on the left-hand side, there's a general news channel so that all of the councils can highlight activities and decisions or whatever, things that are activities that are happening in the councils. In addition to the councils, and they're not all on the screen, there are a few down below the fold on here, but we started talking about how we did communications for the strategic planning process that we're also in the middle of. And so we sort of adopted the strategic planning group as a council for the duration of this plan, and so now they have their own channel here too. So they're included in the same methodology for posting dynamically news of what's going on with strategic planning and to promote it. And so the idea is that this is ever changing and that the chairs are always feeding new information into it so everybody knows what's going on all the time and they can check things out at their leisure.
So what is how do we click on it? I mean, where do we go?
You go into Jack, and it's right there. It's the third tab, and you just click up there where it says councils, and then you get it. And you can Yes.
Do you have any idea of the traffic? How many people take advantage of this information at this point, or how do they know it's available, et cetera?
We really haven't made a big, like, marketing campaign about it yet because it's new and we've just been feeding it in the last week to 10 days. And so we do need to go and sell it a little bit more.
Great.
And so we don't really have statistics yet or anything else. It's really brand new and just fleshed out in the last week. And so,
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Another question? So how far back will the minutes on this?
from the beginning of the councils.
So that would be since
Since the fall, it was November, is that right?
November,
Yeah.
so November.
So there's been
minutes.
about 4 meetings of each one. And during the month of April, the council meetings were all devoted to strategic planning. So they didn't do their usual work. They focused in on strategic planning. So about 4 each so far.
And Yash worked with them. Yash visited each of the councils to ensure that the greatest participation towards the strategic plan came both from the meetings that we have had, the 3 meetings that we have had, as well as the meetings that we've had with the meetings that he has had with all of the councils.
And we thought the councils were a good venue for doing that because they are really a good cross-section of faculty, students, and staff. All of them are meant to be that kind of representative body. And so that seemed like a good way to sort of reach out using the councils to get that whole process rolling.
And one of the reasons why we developed a tab is because Jack is not the easiest software to navigate.
Yeah.
And the faculty gave me feedback that if the councils weren't in one place, it was going to be very hard for them to find it. And so that's when I asked KC to see if there was a way that she could add that, and then all of the agendas and the minutes for the councils. Now, this is an example of AQUIP working at Santa Fe Community College. The councils have distributed leadership. The councils are meeting on a monthly basis. And what the work of the council is doing is being put on the internet and available to everyone. And so that is an example of AQUIP really functioning in Santa Fe Community College.
Madam Chair, since we're on this topic, so did the councils review any of the restructuring? Did they consider that, work on it, give feedback, recommendations, etc.?
They weren't meeting at the time that we needed to do that.
They weren't meeting?
No, they weren't. They weren't. The discussion was done at the Executive Council, and the decision was made that the councils were not working well enough to determine what faculty we would add, the 5 new faculty, and so that was done by Ron and the deans, and they weren't functioning well enough either to go through, and so we would make these decisions here, and then next year, as the councils really work, then many of those things will go through, as Ron said this afternoon.
May I add that as the chair of the Technology Council, most of our focus so far has been in process. How is this council going to work and what are their responsibilities? So we haven't actually moved into the functionality of it. I'm hoping that the next meeting will start to actually do some of the things. But we've been working on the process for technology project submittal and for evaluating technology projects, et cetera. We're setting up the foundation for making this council be effective.
And the Student Services Council really worked very hard on the dual credit policy that you'll see today. So that was their main focus. And the Administrative Council was looking at some of the staffing, and so that was their focus. And so it was full, and they weren't functioning well enough for us to go through, not for faculty nor for the reorg.
Well, it takes time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very complex,
But
once it starts.
they're working.
And
I
this is
think-
a crucial component
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
in order for them to be effective, is with the communication really does have to flow.
Yeah, and I expect a lot of traffic as time passes, you know,
I think so too.
a cross-section of the institution.
I hope you're right.
I hope so too. Thank you. Thank you very much, Casey. Dr. Guzman?
Yes, I also, I will share, I have been meeting with faculty and staff to go through the reorganization, and I will give you in a later moment the number of times and the number of meetings that I have had with both faculty and staff that addresses reorganization. And that process started in early March and has gone through March and April, and the reorganization will not be implemented until July 1. And so I will have that. Kimberly has it, and she gave it to me, but I can't find it, but she'll give me another copy. And I will share it with you.
She's prepared.
Have you got that? Oh, good. It's did you give them? Okay. Okay. Did you give each one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if each one of you has it, you can see that in February, I met with the VPs in HR with employee compensation on the 1st. I met with the VPs in HR on the 5th. On the 8th, I met with faculty and Senate officers on the 20th. I met with the VPs on the 21st in HR and compensation. I met with the VPs in HR for the reorganization on the 25th and introduced the concept of reorganization savings to the governing board on the 26th of February at your last board meeting. In March, I met with the VPs over budget to make sure we were on the right track. On the 5th, on the 6th, on the 8th, I met with deans to discuss job descriptions. I met with faculty, Senate officers, and adjunct faculty. On the 11th, I had a question and answer session with staff. On the 11th, I also had a faculty forum to discuss reorganization, and at the end of that forum, the faculty seemed very pleased of what we had discussed in that forum. On the 15th, the announcement of internal search for 3 deans went out. On the 25th, an email to all faculty, staff, board, and upcoming organizational changements and announcements of the 6 10.5-month chairs. And on the 26th, I introduced the draft org chart. In April, on the 1st, I had a special faculty Senate meeting to discuss the email regarding the upcoming organizational changes. On the 4th, I met with deans and chairs to discuss reorganization. On the 5th, I met with faculty to discuss reorganization again. On the 5th, I also had a president's forum where all campus event to discuss reorganization. On the 9th, I met with VPs in HR on title changes. On the 18th, I met with Steve Condry, and we had a meeting with the with a staff to review the compensation study. And so I just wanted you to see how much time has been spent in working with faculty and staff, both on the staff study and the implementation and the reorganization.
Thank you. Any comments, questions to Dr. Guzman?
A quick question. So was staff and faculty that you met with given the opportunity for feedback at those meetings to Dr. Guzman?
Yes, we set up, on the reorganization, we set up a website that would allow the faculty and staff to ask questions about it, and to give feedback about it on, when did we do that, Casey? 2.5 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago. We did that 3 weeks ago, right after I presented it, and I have received one comment.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thanks for the update. I was also wondering to how many stakeholders you have presented this reorganization. It seems like it's quite a good cross-section of our population here.
Well, I thought it was important for everyone to really look at how much work has gone into it and how much time I have taken, Faculty Senate has taken, and the faculty in general. When I meet with, in my forums with faculty, usually we get 50 people, which is excellent, and they set the agenda and they ask the questions, and so the agenda is not set by me. And then when I have a forum with staff, Bob usually makes a small presentation, and then all staff is able to ask questions, and the agenda is set by them. Most of my forums last 2 to 2.5 hours, and in none of them, and I have had over 6, in none of them have there been questions and they were cut off because of time.
Well, this is, it's a very difficult process. I'm sure Dr. Romero agrees, reorganization, so it creates a lot of anxiety, and I think it's important that you maintain that communication so their concerns and questions are addressed as we move on into bigger and better futures. Thank you, and I believe we have Dr. Carmen Gonzalez, who's going to give us an update on student ambassadors. And if we could have the names of all the people who are going to be a part, I would appreciate that.
Here's some seats right here, Carmen.
Yes, we can.
You want to sit up front?
Do you need this chair and I need the chair?
Sorry. Okay, I think we're settled now. Madam Chair, President Guzman, members of the board, thank you for having us. And we have worked on a number of different, we've talked about a number of different presentations to give to the board, but we thought we ought to start with the students, since students are what we're all about. So we wanted to talk about the Office of Student Development. And we have Ernest Kavanaugh, who's in charge of the student ambassadors, and we have Janet Berry, who's in charge of the rest of the things. Sort of.
Not the leadership.
Okay, student leadership. He's in charge of student leadership. Anything having to do with leadership, that's Ernest. So, let's see. How does this thing work? I have it the wrong way? I'm not sure how this
You
works.
have to go over there. Yes, Yash is the official.
Okay. So we have student government, and of course we have Alex here. And we actually have a number of students in the audience, and I'd like you to stand up. They would like to see how this meeting operates. So we've invited a number of them to be here. And right now we're in the process of new student government elections for next year.
Correct. Can I say something?
Yes, sure.
Just really quick, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dr. Gonzalez. It's really been a pleasure of mine to work in student government and to see the increase of involvement in student government. Our elections are very busy and kind of a little hectic for Janet, but ultimately that's good. We want the inclusion, and so they're going very well. And we should know who the new SGA officers are by tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, great. And we also have student clubs, and we have everything from interior design to the veterans, and you'll hear a little bit about some of the student clubs in just a few minutes. And why student groups are important, it's really a retention tool. If you can get students to become engaged in different activities, non-school activities, it really helps them stay in school. And they also learn life skills and learn how to be a creative thinker. I mean, you'll see some of these kids, we've taken them lots of places. We took them to this Texas event. Martha was there, Dr. Romero was there, and they were served as a panel about what college students need today, and everybody was so impressed with them. So we have great students here, and it's a testament to the work that these two people do here. So we have our Veterans Club, and sure.
Hello, everybody. Madam Chair, members of the board, welcome new members. President Guzman. I'm Janet Berry, and we have the Veterans United Club, Ernest Madrid and Pablo Ortega, and they'd like to do their brief presentation of their great club.
Thank you, Madam Chair, President Guzman, faculty, board members, SGA representatives. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to introduce our new Veterans United Club here at Santa Fe Community College. I would like to take an opportunity also to thank our sponsors from our faculty, Keith Melton and Diane Pinky. By the way, my name is Pablo Ortega. I am a Vietnam veteran and a Marine. And at this time, I want to introduce our club president, Ernesto Madrid, who is retired Army officer and also a Vietnam veteran. I am studying to receive an associate's degree in human services. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Ernest Madrid. I'm also a Vietnam veteran, and I also served 30 years with the National Guard. I'm also a veteran of Desert Storm and the Iraq War. But my mission today is really the Veterans United Club. We're trying to focus on a couple of things. Our mission is actually to provide military veterans with resources and with your support, the need for higher education. You know, there's a lot of vets that are coming in next year. I've been talking with UNM, and they're telling me they're going to be getting like a 300% increase. And we want to start a resource center so we can have all the information available to the students that are here and the students that are coming in. And I'm also working human services, substance abuse, and I want to, again, our mission statement, with your help, that goal will be, with your help, we can achieve it. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much. That is the reason why this year we started the strategies for succeeding in college, and we had a veteran section taught by a veteran so that all of you could get organized, because we know that we're going to be getting more veterans, we hope, and we want to be prepared. And so I have asked Dr. Gonzalez for next year to start an Office of Veterans Affairs within Student Success, within Student Services.
Okay, great. We will work with you. We also have hired an advisor, and he just started. His name is Daniel. He is a veteran. So we would probably have him lead this group and work with you all. Okay? Thank you very much.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'd just like to say I'm sorry that our chair-elect, Chris Abeta, is not here because he is a Vietnam veteran. You guys probably know him, and I know he'll really be happy about this happening. So thank you. Yeah, he's actually in the Veterans Hospital getting some rehab for a physical thing.
Yes.
For his ankle.
Thanks, guys. We now have Patty Barrett and Eric Gellert, and they're from the Clay Club, and so they're going to do their presentation.
Greetings to the board from Clay Club, one of the largest and most active clubs on campus. Its diversity spans from individuals who are 16 years old to 84 years old, from high school students to students with their PhDs, from beginning students to retired professionals who all work together and inspire each other on a daily basis.
To enrich our members, we hold a student sale annually. It gives real-world experience to any student artist, including the work of preparation, advertising, displaying, pricing, and receiving immediate feedback on our wares. It is an empowering experience. Proceeds from the sale allow us to host visiting artists of both local and international stature who share their techniques and tricks of the trade with us. In celebration of Earth Day, Clay Club members pooled physical resources and ideas to create a larger-than-life Adobe prairie dog made from hand-dug campus clay. Located next to the hoop gardens across from the fitness center, Hubert the prairie dog represents, among many things, the need for and benefits of cooperative effort.
We believe that our club represents a kind of diversity and energy that adds balance, stability, and strength to the student members of our club and to the SFCC community as a whole.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Great.
If you haven't seen that sculpture, it's out right by the East Wing Eatery. You could go out there and you'll see it.
It's beautiful. Thanks, guys. So they collaborated with us. We invited any clubs that wanted to collaborate for Earth Week, which has been happening all this week. So anyway, it's very exciting. This is our Earth Week schedule. Just keep going. And then we're going to have Sage come up. Sage Bird, who's in the Environmental Club, but very active in all the sustainability clubs. Thanks, Sage.
Greetings, Madam Chair, members of the board, and welcome the new members and everyone present. Students, teachers, and staff members of the community and of sustainability organizations on campus really appreciate the inclusiveness that the strategic planning survey and meetings attempt to offer us all in decision making that affect us and affect our school. We are hopeful that the changes our school is undergoing will accommodate the work of the students, teachers, and staff and not hinder it. We take pride in attending and being part of SFCC, and we want to see this place reflect some of our own values. Please honor the commitments in place and incorporate sustainability within our value system. The institution's greenhouse gas emissions can be reduced, and an action plan is encouraged to meet our commitments and to support student and teachers' efforts through collaboration with decision makers. I've been attending the school a year now, and for the past 4 semesters, I've attended student government meetings and environmental club meetings, the solar club, algae, biofuels, and I can say that the conversations and the projects and campaigns in the past year have been around how do we get our voices heard and how do we ask for policies, enduring policies to be implemented in our school that follow the sustainability commitment we've made and the zero waste plan resolution. Hands-on classes for trades and technology program, which is what I'm going to school here for, are very important. And we want to express our gratitude. We want to express gratitude because finally students and teachers were able to troubleshoot the fixtures that make us a green campus. The solar equipment in the fitness center and in trades and technology does need improvement, and it would be great if you could include us so we can also be a part of this and help it function well. And opportunities like the advanced solar class, troubleshooting these equipments are invaluable because it's invaluable learning for students, and it will decrease the cost of sustainable development for the college. And students and teachers are willing to collaborate, and we'd like for you to collaborate with us also. And we know that it is through inclusion and participation of the community, the ways that proposals contribute to solutions in areas where there is space for improvement. There is a proposal, I believe each of you have one. We've been working on that for the past 4 semesters. If you could consider it and review it. It's been very hard to try to bring it up to your attention, and I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Madam President, Sage asked me a question I'd like her to ask you.
Yes, you mentioned all the meetings that you've had with faculty and staff council. And, you know, students, we've noticed the tension on campus. We'd like to know why you haven't addressed us about.
I have. I meet with the student government every other month. Yeah, we've met. I have met with the student government already twice. Now, what I have done with the faculty senate officers is that I have broadened, and instead of just meeting with the faculty senate officers, I am opening it up to all the faculty. And last time when we had a meeting, there were about an additional 8 to 10 faculty that were interested in joining the faculty senate officers meeting. And so what you could work with Alex about is to broaden the meeting that I have with the student government to allow anyone who's interested in attending, and I would be happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. We attend the student government meetings and have had small conversations around the drastic changes that the school is undergoing. And Yash also visited us talking about the strategic plan and inviting us all to go to the 3 meetings and do the survey. But there are a lot of students out there that are would like to be involved and included and have things to say, and hardly any opportunity to get their voices heard.
Work with your student government.
We do, every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Madam Chair, along those lines, how are students part of the quality councils? Because this might address some of the issues of how you would be involved in those councils, which are supposed to be vetting decisions and coming up with ideas and things.
Alex says yes.
Yeah, we've SAGE works with the Societal Responsibility Council, and so there's few students that fit these council meetings into their very busy schedules, but I think they're doing great work. For instance, Sage and Matt Sherman are working with Merity's council, and kind of getting their fit in where they feel they're most passionate about. And so we usually have, I think, anywhere from 2 to 3 reps, or we try to have at least 2 to 3 reps on each one of the councils. And of course, I think we've tried to open it up to more, but there wasn't a real strong interest. I think maybe it was the time issue, but the students that have been going have been very diligent and working very, very closely with the councils and expressing some of their opinions. As Sage has now, I believe I've sat with her at one of the societal council meetings, and she was very good at bringing some of this stuff up and trying to find the proper avenues on how to address them.
And so when we start utilizing the councils for decision-making and input, then students will be involved in that.
Yeah. And by design, each council had allocated 2 students And and Alex and the student government had the responsibility to fill. They had so many faculty, and the Senate, Faculty Senate, as well as the general faculty, filled those. Because only half of the faculty are in Faculty Senate, and we felt like the other faculty who were not in the Senate needed to have a voice. And then there are administrators and staff. There are quite a few staff in each of the council, and Bob McWilliams was the one that worked with the staff to fill those councils. So they really have a distributive leadership throughout each of the councils.
Madam Chair, Member Siegel, we do have students on the councils, but as Alex said, they often don't come because I think it conflicts with their class schedule, and so it is harder to get them there. But maybe what we could do is, as council chairs, maybe once or twice a semester, you could invite us to a student government meeting, and we could present some of the major things that we've been covering so that students are a little more aware.
Good idea. Yeah.
If I may, I think that'd be a great idea. You know, Yash has really been adamant about doing that and coming to almost every other SGA meeting and giving us updates. And so I think that's a really good idea to get some more information.
Okay, thank you. Now, the last thing is the student ambassadors, and we have a great group of students and the leadership class that's led by Ernest Kavanaugh, so I'm going to turn it over to him. And let's see if we can be brief.
I'll try to be as brief as possible. Let me begin by Madam Chair, members of the board, President Guzman, the new members, welcome. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It's hard for me to put, how do I put what we do just in 1 year, if I may. If you think about 25 full-time regular ambassadors, and I have 16 volunteer ambassadors that don't get a scholarship, we in the last year averaged over 12,000 hours of service and training by these students. Now, when you look at this list, I would have slide after slide after slide of the things that we have done in this community, internal, external. I am proud of the leadership and the quality of how we represent at the universities and our communities, in panels, in workshops. We are the students. These are the students behind me. When they say, do you have students, Ernest? Do you have student representation? Not only do I have students, but I have students that are trained, and they're trained well, and they are the type of students that represent Santa Fe Community College. I don't care if you're at Harvard, any university, I would compare these students to any one of the caliber of those students. So I have 3 students today that would also like to present to you some information, but I want to do something brief, and I apologize, Dr. Guzman, but I get my students to come here out of their time. And I'm going to ask my students, my student leaders in my class, please stand. Would you all stand, please? Student ambassadors in my leadership class. I'm going to try to do this quick, okay? In one word, whether you're an ambassador or leader in my class, tell me your experience in one word, what you've gotten out of this. One word. Hope. Hope.
Passion.
Passion. Inspiration. Achievement. Inspiration. Success. Motivation. Motivation. Life changing. Growth. Motivational. Excellence. Empowerment. Let me tell you, folks, that's one word. We have a 100% retention rate. My students graduate every semester. We average either 5 to 8 students or more to graduate. I have over 200 students that have gone through this process that now have graduate AAs. They're finishing 40, 50 of them are finishing BAs. I have 5 of them finishing MAs, and I have 6 of them working on this campus.
I just want to add one thing here. He invited me to an event, I think it was a Christmas event, and all the student ambassadors were there. And he had them introduce themselves, and they each introduced themselves, and they said what year they were graduating and what their major was. And you just don't see that much there. So that is a focus on graduation right there.
Briefly, we're collaborating with the Liberal Arts Office, with the CAT Center for Academics Yeah, we're learning so many new acronyms now. But the folks, the folks we're collaborating with is we're going to hopefully develop a certificate in leadership, 16 credit hours. Let me tell you, the folks that'll come back that have already done some of these classes are going to add to our numbers, Dr. Guzman. They're going to say, I've done those courses. And I hope y'all see that move forward. That being said, and I want to recognize Channel 16, Enlace, Service Learning, Liberal Arts, PTK, SGED, Master School, all the folks. These are people that make it happen. But I got 3 presenters that I have to say something. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and President Guzman. So today I came, I'm Joanne Romero. I'm a student ambassador, TA, student employee up in Enrollment Center, and a mother of 2 young sons, one at UNM, who's 21 and is a junior, one that is 17 at Monte del Sol, and I came back to school at 45 years old, a second life. Thank you. Okay, I was very scared, came into Ernest's leadership class, and now I'm a student ambassador. And I'm very proud to be a student ambassador. As you can see, all the events we do for the school, we have collaborated with Yosh, with Cheryl doing Dollar Man, and and what my biggest goal is to keep these students with the best resources we have, student retention, and graduating, because it's very important as a mother to see them, because I feel like I'm a mother to these ambassadors and take care of them. So that is my story. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Guzman, my name is Eduardo Ruiz Navarro, and I'm a student ambassador here at the community college. When I first stepped here in the community college, I was facing many challenges. I come from a single mother family. I'm an immigrant student, and I was learning a new language at a time. But then I joined in a program that allowed me to dream for a better tomorrow and gave me hope, the Student Ambassadors. For me, being a student ambassador has been a great experience because I have learned a lot of skills and tools that allow me to be a leader in my community. It's been a great honor to be a student ambassador because it's an organization that supports students to stay in school and makes them feel like part of a community. It's been a great experience to see that many of my peers now they can dream for a better tomorrow because they attended one of the many events us the ambassadors put together, and all the information we share with the students so they can realize all their different opportunities available for them at the campus. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and student government, and President Guzman, thank you. My name is Sunday Paukar, and I'm also a student leader here at Santa Fe Community College. And I have found Mr. Kavanaugh's student leadership class taught here to be one of the most essential courses I have taken thus far. What makes this class so unique and essential is that it speaks to the individual. We are not being filled with information, but rather called upon to discover our own inner knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration, so that everything we do from this point forward will have a strong foundation in choice and purpose. I know that each of us gathered here today would agree that when we find something we are passionate about, and that which resonates with our highest ideals, we become exceptional at what we do. We do not succumb to mediocrity, nor become bored and burdened by life. Instead, all of our most meaningful and memorable experiences become those that align our beliefs with who we are. When we are aligned in this way, we become exceptional, natural leaders. The individual care that is taken and given by Mr. Kavanaugh, and the time that is taken to shine a light on our good qualities as a way of helping us believe in ourselves, is invaluable. In my humble opinion, this course should not only be included as a part of the leadership certificate, but should be incorporated into the core curriculum of this college for the betterment of all. Thank you.
As you can see, we have quite a few wonderful things going on for students and student support. But I also wanted to add that when you go out into the job market, people in the employers want students who have 21st century skills, communication, critical thinking, and leadership is one of the top skills they would like to see in students graduating. So we hope to continue this great work. Any questions?
I have a question for Ernest. So how many students do you usually have in the ambassador program?
I have 25 official. I had 16 applying for the one position I had this semester.
So what puts the cap on that 25? The fact that you're one person, or?
Dollars. If you look at my students, they average 300 to $500 of service. The minimum they give me is 150. So if they get a $750 scholarship, that averages out to $2 if they're lucky.
So if we had more money available for this, you could have more ambassadors? You could have more students involved?
You give me the money. I'll give you the students.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming.
She will find the money.
I'd also like to add that we really have to give it up to Ernest and Janet. They've worked so hard, very, very hard this semester, and just the passion that they have for this college and their students has really shown through. And these are amazing people. I'm very grateful to know them. I'm very grateful to have them in my life, and I know that they'll continue to do the great work that they do. One other thing is that I'd like to give recognition for all the student ambassadors that worked on the Higher Education Center. Yesterday was the groundbreaking for that Higher Education Center, and they were there. They've been working on that for several years now, along with student government. Again, they have a lot of manpower and student power, and they've been there the whole step of the way. So thank you. It means a lot to us, to everybody.
Alex, I just want to say something quickly. It's the leadership. Justine Carpenter had her baby. She's not here. She's our leader in our office. I want to recognize Justine Carpenter, our director. I'd like to recognize Kathy Romero, who's our administrative secretary. Amazing. We have an office that is an amazing office to be in. But I want to recognize Alex also. Well, for Dr. Gonzalez. She is championing the support. Thank you, señorita. But Alex, Alex, this is a leader. He comes to our Friday meeting. We meet for 4 hours every Friday. My students don't rest. They meet with me. This young man comes and meets and collaborates, the voice of the students. And what you do, young man, I'm proud of you as a leader, as our president of Santa Fe Community College. You need to be commended, and thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
What a treat. This has been a treat. You're a very, very impressive group, and I ditto what Alex said and what you have said. You have tremendous role models to follow. And Dr. Gonzalez, thank you for having such an incredible group of people working with you.
Thank you for having us, and I do want to say that the students don't need to stay any longer if they don't want to. You have permission to leave if you want to.
Let me give Dr. Gonzalez some kudos, and I think that you have seen tonight what happens when you get a vice president of student services and student success that is truly focusing on student success, on students and what they need to do in order to succeed. And so thank you, Dr. Gonzalez, for such good work.
Outstanding. What a treat. This makes everything really so easy. Yeah, I'm sure it makes your work, that's a hard work, a lot easier when you see success stories like we have seen tonight.
Thank you.
So that is really great. All right, we continue. I think we have the employee